Watching movies and jamming out. KFLX 198.4 Fiction Radio.
Welcome back to KFLX Fiction Radio. We have once again entered the animation realm for this week's show, which means anything and everything can happen today, so be on the lookout.
Well, gosh, Shawn. I'm pretty excited for the movie we're talking about today.
Hell yeah.
And if you grew up in the 90s, I think you might be excited too.
Yeah, this is gonna trigger those nostalgia receptors real hard. We're doing Disney's A Goofy Movie.
Ooh, yes.
Taking it all the way back to 1995.
95. It's weird. This movie exists strongly in my head, but like when we set out to cover it, I was like, I couldn't tell you what year it came out.
Oh, okay. I could see it getting confused with like 94. Because that's when it was supposed to come out.
That's true. Yes, for reasons it was pushed, but more so just like it's childhood in my head. I was still 10 or just barely under 10, I guess, when it came out. So it's just like part of the collection of things that I watched over and over, like you do as a kid.
Do you have any recollection of seeing this in the theater, or were you a VHS watcher?
I honestly don't remember if I saw this one in the theater. I remember very few cinema movies as a kid. The ones that stand out to me are Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the live action, and I hated it. I hated it.
The first one.
The first one, the one that everybody loves.
Yeah, well, it's super dark for kids.
It was super dark, and I loved the cartoon. And I just wanted that, but like on a big screen.
You loved Secret of the Ooze, I bet.
I don't remember. I think it had already burnt me.
Oh, fair enough.
So I remember that. I remember Jurassic Park has this place in my head, which that's crazy that came out. See, that's what's confusing. In my mind, there's no way Jurassic Park came out before a Goofy movie.
Oh,
and I think it's just because like a Goofy movie is more for kids. It totally worked for the age I was, because I feel like a Goofy movie was doing something where they were trying to age up a little bit their audience from the pre-existing TV show.
And what is that pre-existing TV show?
Oh, Goof Troop.
You're darn right it's Goof Troop.
Yeah, and I was a big Goof Troop fan too.
Absolutely. I remember watching Goof Troop on ABC. I know it started off as a Disney Channel show, but I didn't have cable and whatnot when I was growing up. So when it finally hit ABC, I was really into Goof Troop.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing a Goofy movie in the theater, but for certain, once that hit VHS, I was renting that shit from Movie Palace.
Nice. Movie Palace. Washmo reference.
Yeah.
I think I owned it at some point, because I definitely watched it a bunch at home.
Oh, yeah, we may have owned it as well, but it definitely started off as a rental.
I also did not have cable. Our family did not have cable yet at that time, but I do remember watching Goof Troop as part of that. Like, they had like a block on ABC, like an afternoon block. I think they had like an after school block too.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was like Goof Troop, DuckTales, Tailspin, all that kind of stuff.
Tailspin. Right. Okay.
All the Disney 90s made-for-TV cartoons.
Right.
Shawn, if you're cool with it, I would love to, now that we've mentioned Goof Troop, the series that started all these characters of Max and Goofy and Pete and PJ. I want to dive into that one a little bit before we even get to the movie.
Exactly. I mean, this is a spin-off. It's another spin-off we're covering, so we might as well at least touch on the origins.
So Goof Troop had much of the same cast as the movie. Bill Farmer as Goofy, and he's been the voice of Goofy, I think, as long as we've been alive, and continues to be the voice of Goofy.
Right.
And we have Jim Cummings as his neighbor, pal, sometimes enemy, Pete.
The voice that Jim Cummings uses as Pete is so goddamn funny. I cannot get enough of the sound of Pete's voice.
Oh, it's so good. And I remember that voice. So Jim Cummings, even more famously than this character, has been Winnie the Pooh for most of our lives.
Yeah.
I remember the 80s Winnie the Pooh series. There was an episode that I watched over and over when I was a kid, and it was like where he goes into an old west town. I don't know if you've seen this. And there's like this big horse thief. They're called horse thieves, but they are actual anthropomorphic horses. He plays the leader, Jim Cummings does, and it's very close to that Pete voice. It's that gruff, gravelly, it's a little more antagonist, I guess, in the way it leans. But it's similar to that Pete voice.
Yeah, it's a great voice. I can't get enough of it. It makes me laugh all the time.
So funny. And then we got Rob Paulsen as Pete's son PJ, Max's best friend. Rob Paulsen, if you're not familiar, he played everybody. Just name a cartoon, he's in it. He's Pinky from Pinky and the Brain. He's Yakko Warner in the Animaniacs. Did you catch the reboot, Shawn?
I did. It was great.
They came back swinging. It was pretty good. And then we have Dana Hill as Max, sort of the main character of the show. Although the show focused a little more on Goofy. You know, they had to bridge the gap.
Right.
But Max was Goofy's son and was voiced by a woman named Dana Hill in the series. At some point in the mid-90s, she had to step away for health reasons and later passed away in, I think, 1996. So the decision was made to recast the Max voice in the Goofy movie. And I think they did something really interesting. They cast Jason Marsden and actually aged the Max character up a little bit and had him going through sort of puberty, high school times. And I think it ended up really benefiting the movie. I mean, it's horrible that she passed away, but
yeah, that's a super sad string of circumstances. But putting Max in high school as opposed to grade school, I think, was smart creatively.
yeah, I think it was a good way to deal with an unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
So the show was a little more conventional, like cartoon.
Yes.
A lot more like physical humor. And I mean, there's plenty of physical humor in the movie. We'll get to that.
Certainly a lot of physical humor, but it is more the standard Goofy affair that you're used to.
Yeah, a a-hyuck. Anyway, this show being what it is, what I really want to talk about from Goof Troop, the show, is the theme song.
Ooh, all right.
Do you remember the theme song?
Vaguely.
Let me give you a little.
Like fire, like sun, you're always number one. There's buddies, there's pals.
Yeah.
You always seem to work things out. Can't you see you're two of a kind? Looking for every time. Report to the Goof Troop, and we'll always stick together. We're the Goof Troop, best of friends forever.
Man, cartoon themes hit back then.
They certainly did.
Dude, DuckTales, Rescue Rangers, these are all, I mean, those are all even more famous, but I'd forgotten how freaking catchy and likable the Goof Troop song was. So I just couldn't pass up the opportunity to talk about it since we're here.
Yeah, why not?
So first of all, that song is sung by an artist named Phil Perry.
Okay.
I was not familiar with Phil Perry. I had to look him up, but he grew up in East St. Louis.
Oh, St. Louis boy.
And he was a founding member of a group called the Montclairs. Song's called Hey You. It's pretty sweet. This is really just for you, Shawn, but you can't see it. But it was pressed on Arch Records. It's got a little graphic of a riverboat going in front of the arch.
That's cool. All right.
So St. Louis. And it's a fucking awesome song.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like between all the like retro 50s stuff and like Tender Mercies, like we can't get away from like Vince Gilligan Breaking Bad music lately. Which is not a bad thing.
No, not at all. There's such banger songs on that soundtrack and throughout the entire show.
Yeah. So that was a little bit of the group, the Montclairs. Phil Perry also had some solo hits. Here's one called Call Me.
Oh, slowing it down for this one.
Oh, yeah. This is a total 80s slow jam, R&B slow jam.
Oh, yeah.
Got those horn pops.
Ooh, I like that
just
a
for
lot.
you, buddy.
I like that a lot. Phil's got a big voice.
Oh, yeah. He's got range.
Baby, will you call me the moment you get there?
So we got him in like an OG soul group. We got this lovemaking jam right here. And then we got the Goof Troop song where he just knocks it out of the park again.
Now you're going to play me something from 2000 where he sounds like Limp Bizkit, right?
No, I don't have anything recent by him. We're gonna leave him there. But yeah, it was one of those things where we were like, we were going to talk about this movie, and then I went, I want to hear that song again from the show. Like, I couldn't even remember how it went. And then as soon as I heard it, it was like, oh, it turns out it did live inside my head the whole time. I just needed to like reactivate it. And just hearing it, I was like, damn, this guy's got a good voice. Like, who is this guy? Oh, he's like, of course, a legitimate and accomplished musician, because Disney in the 90s, they could afford to pull out all the stops. Mm-hmm. So that's the cool fact about the Goof Troop theme song. Are you ready for the crazy fact about the Goof Troop theme song?
I have been waiting for the crazy fact about Goof Troop.
I found this thanks to this site Who Sampled. You ever use Who Sampled?
Oh yeah, I have before. Yeah, mm-hmm.
It helps you find like little bits in songs, and then it links between like which song sampled it, which song did it originally, etc. This one blew my mind. Here's the Goof Troop song. Okay, now this song that I'm about to play is Treat Her Like a Prostitute by famously dirty Slick Rick.
Here's an oldie but goodie. Hit it.
Did you hear the hit it?
Yeah.
Here's an oldie but goodie. Hit it. Hit it.
Like fire.
Oh, interesting.
It's a quick vocal sample, but they pulled an element from a Slick Rick track and use it in the Goof Troop theme.
Wow. That is a crazy Goof Troop fact.
I thought it was pretty nuts. Anyway, enough about Goof Troop. As good as it was, we're here to talk about the movie.
A goofy movie?
The movie, A Goofy Movie.
Yeah, uh-huh. Yes, there we go. Which is directed by Kevin Lima, who famously did the 1999 Tarzan movie.
Yeah.
And also directed Enchanted, which I'm a big fat fan of.
Oh, nice. I've never seen Enchanted. I saw that he was behind it.
Enchanted is a lot of fun.
This dude's got a ton of credits. He's pure, like, Disney pedigree. Mm-hmm. He came up through the animation ranks. So he worked on Brave Little Toaster, which is a cultural touchstone in our years.
Oh, yeah.
But then he was also animating on Oliver and Company, Little Mermaid, The Rescuers Down Under, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, all the like big Disney swings.
A Disney vet.
Fun fact about that Tarzan movie, he originally turned it down because they tried to film it through like a sub-unit, like a different like Canadian animation for TV unit. And he was like, no, I want to do like the real feature film unit.
Oh, okay.
And so, but he almost lost the gig because he said no. And then finally, like a year later, they came back and they were like, okay, we can do Tarzan through the big unit.
Nice.
Good on him. Stick to your guns.
I think he was probably a little bit frustrated with how a Goofy movie was put on the back burner in terms of like budget and studio priority wise and all kinds of stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, it's a shame because they really kind of, I feel like they hit on something with a Goofy movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they'd upped their expectations at that point. They wanted Lion King. They wanted Beauty and the Beast. They wanted something that was going to sell
right.
a shitload of merch and have a dozen hit songs.
It could have been that had they spent some money on promotion, but since Katzenberg was no longer the CEO at Disney by the time the movie was coming out, they were like, yeah, we're not going to promote this at all. It's just going to come out and go away.
Yeah, it's a shame. There's so much Disney stuff that we could get into if this was a different podcast. About why Michael Eisner sucked and all that.
Katzenberg was no better. I don't know if you came across this, but he originally told Bill Farmer not to do Goofy's signature voice and to record in his normal voice for the first like 4 sessions.
Yeah, they got like a week or two into recording and they were like, okay, Goofy can sound like Goofy.
That's pure insanity.
I would love to hear that shit.
As would I.
That one's in the Disney vault forever.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yes. So this movie had a budget of $18 million. It had a worldwide gross of $37.6 million.
Yeah, it did all right.
Yeah, it did pretty well. All things considered, for no promotion, pretty good.
I'm just saying, they could have had so much more.
Absolutely.
Like, they thought it wasn't the right kind of movie, but it was the right kind of movie. And actually, I would say, unfortunately, it's not a slight against the director, but Tarzan was the beginning of the wrong kind of movie.
Fair.
Music-wise, for Disney.
Right.
I'm a firm believer in, like, it was better for Disney when the characters sang the songs, not when Phil Collins.
Phil Collins. Yes, uh-huh.
And I like Phil Collins. I
do too.
I don't even have a problem with Phil Collins. It's just Didn't feel like a Disney movie.
Exactly. And just for comparison, The Lion King's budget was $45 million.
Holy shit. Well, and it made a jillion dollars, I'm sure. And turned it into a Broadway musical. They did all kinds of stuff with Lion King. That was a beloved property.
So a Goofy movie was released April 7th, 1995. The top 3 for that weekend at the box office was Bad Boys 1, which had just debuted. Uh-huh. It raked in $15.5 million. Uh-huh. A Goofy movie was in second place with $6.1 million. And in its second week of release, third place, Tommy Boy, with $4.5 million.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. Also, like, those were good numbers. It's funny, like, if you go back in time, box office numbers feel so low because ticket prices have increased so much, not because of movie going, you know, it's the whole how it's measured thing. And TV ratings seem so high.
Yeah.
Freaks and Geeks, which is a show that is beloved now, but was like considered a huge failure when it premiered on TV and only got its first season, had an average viewership of 6.77 million.
People would kill for that viewership right now.
Nothing besides sports could ever get numbers like that now.
No.
Ever. Not at the same time. Not live viewing. I mean,
Exactly.
it's complicated because people still watch stuff. Obviously, we all watch a ton of shit, but the way it's measured for TV is so funny.
Yep.
Cry and shame. Too bad that Judd Apatow guy never got another chance.
Yeah, he just faded into nothingness after that. Coming back to the voice cast of a Goofy movie and the addition of Jason Marsden, this guy is fully interwoven throughout my entire childhood.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know how much of this stuff hit for you throughout your youth, but I watched Erie, Indiana, and I loved the absolute shit out of that show. He was on Full House. He was on Boy Meets World. He's in Hocus Pocus as the voice of the cat, Thackeray Binks. He was in Step by Step. This guy is all over our childhood.
Holy crap. Yeah. I didn't know he was like a live action actor until you sent me the thing earlier today where they perform a scene from a Goofy movie in live action.
Yeah.
Which was pretty great.
And then we have the addition of Pauly Shore in this movie, who goes uncredited because he didn't want them to use him to market the movie.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that. Because he was so hot at the time. Dude, I think this movie might have been my introduction to Pauly Shore.
Oh, interesting.
When I think back to Pauly Shore's voice, like that classic like Valley guy voice, I think of, I didn't know what I was thinking of, but it was like a character from something, and I think it was this character from this movie. I think it's the first time I heard his voice.
I was already into Son-in-Law and I think Encino Man by this point.
I definitely remember loving the movie Son-in-Law, but I don't know. I feel like I saw it later. Maybe I'm mixed. Again, these are child memories. They're all mixed
Jumbled together, exactly.
But yeah, I'd forgotten Pauly Shore was in it, and then as soon as the character came on screen, I was like, oh yeah.
Here's one that I was curious if you caught, Dustin. Your guy, Frank Welker, voices Bigfoot.
Yeah, Frank Welker, the guy who voices all the non-speaking animals in cartoons.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's not surprising at all. It would be more surprising to see something where he didn't have a credit, honestly. Guy is in everything. But yeah, he's great as Bigfoot. I love that Bigfoot character.
And then just slightly off topic, I feel like we would be doing a disservice if we didn't bring this up while talking about a Goofy movie. The episode of Atlanta that parodies the making of this movie is pretty outstanding.
Yes. Oh man, I didn't even think of that in prep for this.
I watched it today.
Oh, damn. Okay.
It was pretty fucking great.
Give the people the synopsis.
It's all about this fictional black animator who accidentally gets elected as the CEO of Disney Animation and decides to make, quote, the blackest movie ever made, end quote, and he makes a Goofy movie. It is
good.
Outstanding television.
Man, Atlanta is, I've said this, I think to you, I say it to anyone who I can. Atlanta is the perfect show. Like, it ended perfectly, and I hate the endings of almost every television show. Almost everything I watch, I'm like, it either was terrible or it could have been better. Atlanta's perfect all the way through.
So in the episode, the animator shows a clip of an animation he did, and it's for this artist called Little Prince. There's a song that is performed in the animation, and it's called I Don't Want to Live on the Moon. And I didn't know where the song came from, but it sounded like the vocalist sounded vaguely familiar. So I gave it a quick Google, and it's not even a cover. It's just straight ripped from Sesame Street. It is Ernie singing that song.
I remember that song.
It was just interesting that they didn't even try to make it sound like a Prince song. They were just like, no, we're just going to use the Sesame Street song. Yeah. For those that don't know what it sounds like.
Well, I'd like to visit the moon on a rocket ship high in the air. Yes, I'd like to visit the moon, but I don't think I'd like to live there. Though I'd like to look down at the earth from above, I would miss all the places and people I love. So although I might like it for one afternoon, I don't want to live on the moon.
It's like a decent folk song.
It certainly is, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you haven't seen that episode of Atlanta, definitely check it out if you like a Goofy movie, because it is so great.
Oh, and then watch the rest of the show, because if you liked that, you're going to like more.
Yes, please watch the rest of the show.
Doing our part to make sure people watch Atlanta.
Yeah. So there's something that this movie got me real good on a trickster move, Dustin. I guess not necessarily a trickster move, because it's my own ignorance of not knowing. When Goofy barges into Max's room and he messes up his cardboard standee of Powerline, and Goofy asks Max who is on the cardboard standee, and he says that it's the greatest rock star of all time. It's Powerline. And Goofy says, is he better than Xavier Cugat, the Mambo King? And I figured, oh, let me write that down. That sounds fake as fuck. No, that's a real fucking person. I was certain. I was like, oh, that's a fake name if I ever heard one. No, here's this song Brazil from 1943. Which is like, this is an iconic sound.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I know this. I genuinely couldn't believe that was a real person.
The Mambo King.
Yeah. It sounded purely fictional. I was like, oh, that's not, no.
Yeah, that's a heck of a name.
Before heading to Montreal's Queen Elizabeth Hotel,
I got one from
here's the
Mr.
famed
Cugat.
orchestra of Xavier Cugat, featuring the Spanish Eiffel Chero. So let's have a fine welcome for...
This is so cool. Like, this is from a time where you could have a band of, like, there are 20 people on this stage. And, like, he's just a band leader.
Tequila!
Yeah, there are just a ton of people. They're on multi-levels on this stage, and he's just sort of dancing around and, you know, waving his hands and orchestrating them.
Nice.
Oh, man. Well, good catch looking up that name.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, I just assumed that it was going to be a fake thing because we're dealing with fake things throughout the movie. So I was like, oh, you know, I'll write that down and I'll look into it later. And I went into the Google machine. I was like, holy shit, that guy exists.
Yeah. It was them writing, like, what's an old guy reference for Goofy?
Yep.
And then also, like, probably they were fans and wanted to give this guy a mention.
Yeah, pretty great stuff. I was happy that it turned out to be a real person as opposed to a fake thing. It was a nice swerve for me.
All right, Shawn, what say you we jump into the original songs from a Goofy movie?
I am so ready to talk about the music from this film, and I think we should start off with the Goofy and Max songs. I understand that they are not a fictional band that's created for this film, but they do sing a decent amount in here, and I think we would be doing the wrong move if we didn't talk about them in some capacity, so I would like to do that.
Hell yeah, let's talk about them.
And I would like to address the fact that Jason Marsden does not sing for Max in this movie. It is a different actor by the name of Aaron Lohr. Did you look into him at all, Dustin?
Not really, not much, no.
So this is fantastic. This is information I didn't know going in, and I am so thrilled by it. You know who this guy is. He played Dean Portman in Mighty Ducks 2 and 3. He's the second Bash brother.
Oh, what?
Yeah! And if you're thinking like, what the hell is he doing singing in a Goofy movie? This dude was in Newsies.
Oh, there's a connection then.
Now, granted, most of the Newsies songs are big groups of kids singing and characters just sort of trading one line at a time. But Aaron does have the very first line of 2 songs in the Newsies, and I'll just play those real quick.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The first song is King of New York. He has the first line.
A pair of new shoes with matching laces.
A permanent box at the Sheepshead races.
A porcelain tub with boiling water. A Saturday night with the mayor's daughter.
Look at me, I'm the king of New York. Suddenly, I'm respectable, staring right at you, lousy with stature.
Nobbing with all the muckety mucks. I'm blowing my dough and going deluxe.
And that was Christian Bale singing
That
right
was
there,
Christian
final
Bale,
line. Yeah.
I could recognize his weird American accent immediately. I'm a tough guy from New York.
Aaron also has the first line in the song Carrying the Banner.
Oh, that's a goodie.
Try Bottle Alley or the Harbor.
Try Central Park, it's guaranteed.
Try any bank of bomb or barber.
Christian Bale.
He almost all knows how to read. I smell money.
You smell foul.
Met this girl last night.
Aaron again.
Of your elbow as the towel.
For a buck I might.
Hit a fine life, carrying the banner through it all. A mighty fine life, carrying the banner tough and tall.
Yeah, Newsies. How about that, huh?
Another production of the Disney Machine, I believe.
Yes. Uh-huh.
I remember watching that movie in school, but I don't remember why, like what the justification was.
I remember watching it on trips to theater conferences because all of the girls in theater program were obsessed with Newsies and Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, yeah.
So I would watch the Newsies anytime we did like a theater trip on a bus that had a TV.
I forgot about that. Yeah, it's a big time theater kid movie for sure.
Yeah.
But I watched it like earlier in like grade school, and I don't remember why, if it was just like a free period, or if it was like, if there was some like shoehorned, like, this is what the 1920s were like.
So just a couple more things about Aaron before we move on. I didn't know that he ended up marrying Idina Menzel, which is crazy.
Oh, I didn't know that. She's a Broadway icon.
She is a Broadway icon. He's also featured on her Christmas album, and they sang I'll Be Home for Christmas.
I'll be home for Christmas. Only in my dreams.
I'll be home for Christmas. You can plan on me. Please have snow and mistletoe and presents on the tree.
Pretty cool.
That's cool. If I can go on a mini rant here, why do we have to keep making Christmas albums? Everybody has a Christmas album. And it's like a thing where if you are known to have like a really good voice, because there's like good voice, like the pop singer, the bar is pretty low, honestly, for vocal abilities. But if you're talking musical theater, if you're talking that upper echelon shit, everybody who does it ends up making a Christmas album. And we were just talking about Xavier Cugat and all the cool things you used to be able to see on late night TV. Do something cool. You can show off your vocals. If you're doing this like big band stuff, you can play anything. You can get people to play anything, and then you can sing anything. And it's a bummer that it's Christmas so often. But that was still a great performance. It was good to hear them together.
One final thing about Aaron, he released a solo album in 2013 called Bright Blue Day, and here is a song off of that record called Same Love That Made Me Laugh.
Well, now you think of a love that's sitting on a mountain. Think of it as being a great big rock. Won't you think before you started rolling down? Because once you started, you can't make it stop. I've given all I've got to give, yeah. And if you don't want me, I don't want to live. Well, then why must the same love that made me laugh might want to make me cry?
Nice little bluesy song there.
Yeah, it was like a Tom Jones blues, Tom Jones-esque blues.
Yeah, okay.
So, Shawn, a minute ago, you played the Newsies clip.
I did.
King of New York. Mm-hmm. And it's funny that you picked that, because that is what I thought of instantly when I heard the first song in Goofy Movie, After Today.
They've been laughing since I can remember, but they're not gonna laugh anymore. No more Maxie the Geek, no more Goof of the Week like before.
No more algebra tests till September.
No more looking at losers like him. No more having to cheat.
No more mystery meat.
No more Jim. No more Jim.
No more gym.
No more Jim.
Gonna move to the mall.
Gonna live in the pool. Gonna talk to Roxanne and not feel like a fool. 'Cause after today, I'm gonna be crazy. After today, she'll be mine.
Like, the instant this chorus came in, I was like, oh, this sounds like Newsies. Like, I was like, this 100% sounds like Newsies.
Of home economics.
Then down with the textbook and up with the comics. Just think of all the time I've been losing, finding the right thing to say. But things will be going my way after today.
And specifically, it made me think of King of New York, which you played.
Nice.
And I think part of the reason for that is those two songs share a lyricist in Jack Feldman.
Yes.
I think what made me think of the Newsies song of King of New York, it's the listing thing that we always end up talking about listing, but it's the fact that like Max and all the other characters are listing the things they're going to do now that summer started, now that they're out of school. And in the Newsies song, it's sort of the same.
Permanent box at the Sheepshead races.
A porcelain tub with boiling water.
They're sort of wishing to the future
The mayor's daughter.
for something in the same way. And then, I don't know, the way the chorus comes in, the way the horns come in, the way the whole ensemble vocals come in. Yeah, I was just like, oh man, this totally reminds me of Newsies. And I was like super happy to find out that there was a connection between the two. Although I didn't even find that the voice actor who sang for Max was in Newsies.
Sure.
Now, the song itself, the music was composed by a songwriter named Tom Snow.
Yes.
And I think you figured out another hit song that the people might know by Tom Snow.
Let's hear it for the boy from Footloose.
Yeah.
And maybe he don't dress fine, but I don't really mind.
R.I.P. Chris Penn.
Every time he pulls me near, I just wanna cheer. Let's hear it for the boy. Let's give the boy a hand. Yeah. Let's hear it for my baby. You know you gotta understand. Yeah. Oh, maybe he's no Romeo, but he's my loving one-man show. Oh, 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 oh. Let's hear it for the boy.
Let's Hear It for the Boy by Denise Williams. Shawn, I didn't know that like all the songs for Footloose were written for Footloose because they're all just pop songs too. They were like all hit songs too.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, did you realize that this was not the first song to open a Goofy movie and that Jack and Tom wrote several other songs that were rejected?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Kevin, the director of this movie, tweeted out in April of 2022 that Jack and Tom wrote at least 3 different opening songs in order to get to After Today. I was pretty demanding that the opening not only melodically pop, but the lyrics delivered a lot of plot information. And he includes a photograph of some cassette tapes. One of them is titled Goofy Demos. Another is titled Made in the Shade, which is a song title. And a third option is titled Roxanne.
Are you saying he wrote the Police hit
Yes.
before they made it?
I am. I'm saying that Jack and Tom beat the Police to the punch after the Police already wrote and recorded their version of it.
Yes. Yeah. That's how time works.
Yeah. And then the final cassette tape on the stack says After Today with a date of December 15th, 1993.
That's crazy. Have they ever released any of these for anyone to hear?
Not that I'm aware of.
Presumably they're not allowed.
But I'm glad that they went through all the trouble to write these other songs that ended up being rejected, because After Today is a great opening song.
It's killer. Yeah. I mean, and it does the things that you said they wanted, you know?
Exactly.
It exposes some plot and sets up our characters. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's super cool. Honestly, when I turned on the movie, I'd kind of forgotten about the like musical style songs. I was really only thinking of Powerline.
Nice. That's a fun little second reveal for you.
And again, once it came on screen, once I heard it, I was like, I remember this.
Yeah, the sensory recall comes flooding on back. What do you say we hop in the car and move on down the open road?
Ooh, I like where you're headed. We're talking about the Max and Goofy duet.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
As they set out on their road trip. We haven't talked, real quick, we haven't talked about what this movie's about. Kind of assumed they were with us. Max is a little more grown up than he was in Goof Troop. And he's at that age where it's like he's like really doesn't want to be around his dad because he's not cool. He's goofy. One thing I love they do in this movie is there's this like undertone of like that being a goof, like a member of the Goof family means you will become this sort of clumsy, dorky guy at some point in your life. Like he's dreading turning into Goofy. Love that. Like it's like a familial curse of goofiness, of literal goofiness. So Max is growing up. He doesn't want to hang out with his dad, and then his dad forces him into this family road trip, which is the last thing Max wants to do with his summer. He wants to hang out with his friends and hang out with this girl he likes, and instead they get in the car and Goofy's going to take him on a road trip like Goofy's father did with him when he was younger.
A fishing trip.
A fishing trip, yes. So they're on the road, and that's when we get this song, On the Open Road.
Do you need a break from modern living? Do you long to shed your weary load? If your nerves are raw and your brain is fried, just grab a friend and take a ride together up on the open road. Come on, Maxie!
All in all, I'd rather have detention. All in all, I'd rather read a toad. And the old man drives like such a klutz that I'm about to hurl my guts directly upon the open road.
There's nothing can upset me, 'cause now we're on our way. Our trusty map will guide us straight and true.
Now imagine Goofy's voice if he just sounded like a regular guy that kind of sounds like Goofy.
It totally would have worked, dude. It totally would have worked. A lot more relatable for a dog person to sound.
Presumably at some point they just went, we're going to kill Goofy. We're going to kill the character of Goofy if we do this.
This song was tricky for my brain because it sounds like a cover of like a really old song, but it's not at all. Yeah, the just being out on the open road part, I don't know why, but that lyric just triggers my brain of an old song that I know or something else. Like the way that it's sung along with the melody really just triggers something of like, oh, well, this is a cover. And then it turned out to not be. So this movie's messing with my brain like no other movie has so far.
Yeah. In fact, this is another original, and it is, again, music by Tom Snow and lyrics by Jack Feldman.
Yep. I did find another version of this song, though, Dustin.
Oh, did you?
So at D23 in 2015, Jason Marsden.
Hold up, what's D23?
Oh, D23 is the Disney event where they have like a big expo every year, and they now it's more so they unveil what their projects are going to be in the upcoming year. It's like a Comic-Con, but only for Disney stuff.
Okay, so it's their own expo.
Anyway, so at D23 in 2015, Bill Farmer and Jason Marsden did this song together live for the audience.
So good, I just being out on the open road. Sing along!
Is the whole audience jumping in?
Yeah, the audience is singing all the characters that they meet along the highway.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool, man. Those are those people, we all know a Disney person.
Oh, yeah.
They all go to this, I'm sure.
Yeah. But I do like that they gave Jason some room for redemption. Right when he first starts singing, the crowd has a huge pop for him doing it.
Nice. Yeah, that was cool. Love that those guys are still performing stuff from this movie.
Yeah.
Just goes to show its staying power.
And the fact that they like it, because they could have easily said no to that pitch. Hey, do you want to come? Sure. Hey, do you want to sing? Fuck no. Like,
right.
Yeah, no, yeah, I want to. This is great.
Hell yeah. So we're moving on down the road, and Goofy decides to make a stop.
A stop that leads us to a secondary fictional band that I honestly completely forgot about before the movie started.
I didn't forget about it. Yeah, we get a little like animatronic showbiz pizza style performance in a roadside attraction with Lester's Possum Park.
By the Possum Posse Jamboree.
There's your fake band.
Now gather round, my possum pals, join the jamboree. Come hoot and howl and holler from the heart. And every chicken, pig, and goat'll help by yelping out a yodel here at Lester's Possum Park.
Yodelay.
Lester's Possum Park. Visit Beulah's Farm of Fiddles, pit our varmints, taste our victuals, Lulu's lizard gizzard pie is a work of art. Then do a do-si-do and dance like there's a possum in your pants down at Lester's Possum Park.
That's some good yodeling.
Yeah, that was some fantastic yodeling. This song is by two writers, Randy Peterson and Kevin Quinn. They are, fun fact, the credited writers of the Goof Troop theme song.
Oh, okay.
And they've actually done a bunch of like TV songwriting for all kinds of 90s cartoons, Disney, etc. But I found one that I wanted to play for you because you might recognize it. And if you do or don't, you'll still get a kick out of it.
Okay.
They wrote this intro.
Been selected for a most important journey. I was to help fulfill the destiny of the two great ones, Bill and Ted.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember the Bill and Ted cartoon?
Yeah.
Time stands still and trouble moves too fast. To save the future, we must learn about the past.
There's a lot of sound effects in this.
Yeah.
Excellent! Bill and Ted bogus! Adventures most outstanding every day. It's outrageous, so bodacious. Help is always on the way.
Doing their best like Van Hagar.
Bonus for the listeners, you're going to hear that song twice. I can almost bet you that.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about Wild Stallions for sure.
We do get an introduction of all of the members for the Possum Posse Jamboree. Lester is the lead singer. We also have Buford, Beulah, and Mordecai.
Oh, yeah. we do get some names.
I always love when they do a quick introduction of the other band members.
Yeah, it was a fun little roadside stop. It was cool to see the Possum Band. Shawn, what's Jerry waving about?
Oh,
what's going on over there?
Oh, shit! Our studio guest must be here, Dustin. This is exciting, listeners. We have our very first in-studio guest. Go ahead and let him in, Jerry.
Gorge, here I come. Get my big goofy feet in this booth. Thank you, Jerry, for having me.
Oh my gosh, I cannot begin to describe the honor it is to have you on KFLX Fiction Radio, Goofy. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Gorge, I'm happy to be here. I did a whole bunch of ketamine before the show.
Oh, I hope you brought some to share.
I sure did.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Dustin, do you want to say hi to Goofy?
Sure.
Come on, Dustin, spit it out!
Yeah, Goofy, thanks for joining us.
Gorge, thanks for having me, Dustin.
We won't waste too much of your time here, Goofy. We just had a couple of questions about the experience from a Goofy movie. Primarily, did you attend the Powerline farewell tour?
I sure did.
And how was that?
Oh, it was amazing. I was also high on ketamine then. It was quite the experience. A lot of colors.
It sounds like you've had a hell of a 29 years since the last Powerline show.
Oh, yeah. I'd say so.
So is the ketamine thing, what problem in your life were you trying to address with that, or are you addressing with that?
Disney trying to retcon me having a son. I'm trying to deal with that. They're trying to take my maxi away.
They're trying to take your maxi away? I hadn't heard about this, Goof.
Yeah. They're like, oh, he doesn't have a son anymore. Oh, no one told me.
That would seem like something pretty important for them to inform you of.
Yeah. I know he went away to college, but he's still my boy.
Do you have Max sort of hidden away? Is he in hiding?
Yeah, he lives in a shed in my backyard.
Is it a good-sized shed?
It's about 2 feet by 2 feet.
Sleeping, standing up, Conehead style.
Yeah. If it works for Bender, it works for Max. That was a Futurama reference. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
So, how's Max doing? Is he, made some attempts to find his own career?
Well, if he did that, Disney would find out that he's living in a shed in my backyard. So I just have to, go outside twice a day and feed and water him and etc.
Your life is pretty dark now, Goofy.
Thank you.
I understand. Oh, that was not a compliment, but I understand why you got the ketamine addiction now.
Life's rough, and not just because I'm a dog. Rough. Yeah.
Changing gears completely, back to the film. Your old buddy Pete, do you guys stay in touch?
Yeah, he still lives next door.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Disney tried to write out his wife, and I think he had a daughter in the show, but in the movie, nuh-uh. It's just you and PJ. Disney said they control a lot of our lives.
Yeah, wow, that must be rough. I didn't even think about the real world effects of that stuff.
Yeah.
So Pete, from what I've seen of your relationship with Pete, he's kind of always had a certain way of speaking with you. I'm just wondering, do you feel like Pete respects you? Do you have anything like you would want to say to Pete today?
Yeah, I mean, every day I tell him to go fuck himself. I go, hiya, Pete! And he goes, what is it, Goof? And I say, go fuck yourself! Every day. It's our little tradition.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad you finally started sticking up for yourself there, Goofy.
You can't bleep those fucks. You have to keep them in. I don't know what you do on your podcast if I can say fuck and shit.
You can say whatever you want, Goofy.
Gorge. Thank you.
Of course, Goofy. Feel free to say anything you like on KFLX Fiction Radio,
where we specialize in the unfiltered truth behind Disney icons.
So before Max had to go into the shed, did you guys make it like a yearly tradition that you would go on some sort of a road trip after the Powerline concert?
Yeah, we sure did. And I sang songs the entire time.
Oh, were they Powerline songs or any other particular artist you're into?
It was mostly Ice Spice.
You're into the new shit, huh? Okay.
The fart one? You think you're the shit? You're not even the fart. That's my favorite song. I sang that over and over again.
All right, that's a little surprising. Is that your go-to karaoke jam right now, Goofy?
Sure is. I love it. And I do little fart sound effects. When she says fart, I just say,
That's a pretty good fart sound, Goofy.
Thank you.
Of course.
I did it myself. I put my asshole up to the microphone.
Oh, well, all right. We'll have Jerry sanitize that later.
My goofy asshole. I'm going to give myself pink eye by talking into the microphone that I just farted on. Yeah.
My dogs have a lot of health issues too, actually.
I gotta know, have you been on any fishing trips lately, Goofy? Does the ketamine work for fishing trips?
Fish love ketamine. I use it as bait.
Really?
Oh, okay. So it attracts the fish. It works on fish.
Oh, I've caught so many fish with ketamine.
All right. Well, fishing enthusiasts that are listening to the show, you got a hot new tip from Goofy himself. Use ketamine as bait.
Totally.
Worms, nothing. Salmon eggs or whatever works like shit. Ketamine? There you go.
You heard it here first, kids.
And last.
I'm not entirely sure, Fish and Wildlife is behind that, but use your own judgment.
What does that can behind you say? Does that say goof off?
Oh, that? Yeah, it's just this cleaning product I use. I forgot it was back there. It's just for, removing sticky stuff, like sticker residue.
That's me. That's my product.
You own the brand?
Yeah.
Oh.
Goof off.
Well, it works really well, Goofy. I'm impressed.
Thank you. It gets all the goofs off.
Sure does.
For when you don't want any goofs around.
Yeah.
You use goof off.
I use it on myself, and sometimes it erases some of my skin.
Oh, wow.
Oh, heaven. Whoa.
Like in Who Framed Roger Rabbit when they dunked that shoe into the vat. That's what it does to my skin.
Okay, well, I've been wondering, is that kind of what Disney's trying to do with Max? Like, if they find him in your back shed, are they going to erase him?
They're going to fill that shed with goof off.
Oh, shit.
Because Max is a goof. It's his last name. My name is Goofy Goof. Isn't that stupid? Isn't that a stupid name, Goofy Goof? It's downright goofy.
It is downright goofy.
That's my favorite sex position. Downright goofy.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be here today, Goofy. I hope that the ketamine hasn't fully worn off yet and that you're still riding that nice high.
It's crashing a little bit, but I have a whole pile outside of this booth to dive my face into. That's how I insert it into my body. With my face.
You better hope Jerry didn't beat you to the punch. That son of a bitch sucks up stuff like a Hoover vacuum.
Jerry, you get your face off my ketamine! Yahoo!
I would say every 3 days we come in and Jerry's in a K-hole.
Yep.
We should have mentioned that. Sorry. We don't reimburse. Man, Shawn, that was so great getting to talk to a legend like the Goofster himself.
Yeah, the actual Goofy in the studio. How crazy, man.
So awesome. I can't express how thankful we are that he made time out of his busy schedule and sat down with us.
Yeah, what a guy. I can't believe it, man. I can't believe it. I am just surging with power like I'm holding all of this energy in a line or something.
Well, I don't know if we'll top Goofy, but we're going to try, and we're going to do that by talking about the big artist at the center of this movie, Powerline.
Yeah, Powerline. Hell yeah.
So Powerline is introduced early in the film. We get a couple good tastes of his song Standout.
Yes, we do.
At the talent show that Max invades. Wait, was it a talent show or did he just do it at a regular assembly?
I think it's just a regular assembly, which is why it's a bigger deal that he's performing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because, I know he was in trouble for doing it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure why, if it was just too extravagant or if it was actually like, oh, this wasn't like a performing thing.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more mischievous.
It was just like the school's out for the year assembly.
Yeah.
He comes in and does this whole lip sync performance to Powerline's Standout.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Before we get into Standout, I think we should just sort of address the fact that Tevin Campbell, the pop star, is the voice of Powerline in this film.
Yeah. So Tevin Campbell, he was pretty young when he did the Powerline vocals.
He was pretty young, but he was already an established musician at that point because Quincy Jones featured him in a song in 1989 called Tomorrow, A Better You, Better Me. Tevin looks like he's probably 13 or 14 in this music video.
Okay, that sounds about right. I think he was in the last of his teens when he did Goofy movie.
And this song's a cover of a 1976 song by the Brothers Johnson, but it was an instrumental song.
Oh, really? Ooh, I don't know this, but I like it.
It's pretty trippy.
This is I don't know this, but this sounds like the type of thing that would get sampled in some like early Dre stuff or like just any sort of gangsta rap in the 90s.
Oh.
It's got that sound, don't you think?
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
So smooth.
It's really smooth. I like it a lot.
That's cool. So it's that same song, but totally different because they've added a whole layer of lyrics and vocals.
Uh-huh. Yeah. yeah.
Well, hey, that's a transformational cover. You know, we always say we like it when they do something different. That's something different.
100%. Yes. And then Tevin had some success on his own as well. In 1991, he went to number 6 on the Hot 100 charts and number 1 on the R&B hip hop charts with the song Tell Me What You Want Me to Do.
He was about to do the like whisper in your ear bit. Tell me, girl. That just became a trope of like R&B love songs.
Tevin Campbell also went on to play Seaweed in Hairspray on Broadway.
Yeah.
Not the original cast, but it's still super cool because that show is great and that role is awesome.
I've never seen it.
Oh, you've never seen Hairspray?
Never seen Hairspray, no.
Oh, it's good.
Not even the movie or the movie that inspired the musical that inspired the movie. Right. Hairspray is it sits in a very special category along with The Producers to have that many iterations back and forth where like a movie inspired a musical inspired a movie.
Yeah.
I think Tevin was a great cast for this.
I do too.
I think they were really trying to go for like a young up and coming singer who straddled that. I mean, we're getting into dangerous terms here, but straddled the like R&B and like pop idol line.
Okay.
Sort of like Bobby Brown in the real world.
Who, from my understanding, is one of the 3 big influences for the character of Powerline, along with Michael Jackson and Prince.
Yep. I could see all that, definitely. The dancing, for sure, Michael Jackson.
Yes, 100%. There's a couple of instances where musically it sounds like Prince, but overall, I hear Bobby Brown the most in terms of the way that the vocals sound, the way that the songs are constructed, and the Bobby Brown song that I feel represents the Powerline vibes the most is Humpin' Around. I feel like the beat structure is pretty similar. The vocal stylings are there. And then for the chorus, you have just an absolute eruption of people coming in to sing along with Bobby.
Yeah, that like wall of sound chorus behind him. Yeah, and that's very much present in Powerline. And folks, we're going to play the Powerline song soon. Don't worry.
Yes, yeah.
Fun fact, just because we talked about Michael Jackson being the dance inspiration for this character, there's a story that Tevin Campbell has told where when he went to record this song, over like a long weekend in the studio. They actually shot him dancing on a green screen to like, I don't know, motion capture or whatever they planned to do in the 90s. It was just animation anyway. He says he's pretty sure they didn't use any of it.
Yeah.
That it was just based on like Michael Jackson and stuff anyway. But I just thought it was funny that they took the time to film him and like capture his real moves because like, we're going to make this character you.
Yeah, I also came across that. Pretty cool.
But Shawn, regarding the Prince inspiration, I don't think that's just a guess because the producer of this song, David Z, he was actually the recording engineer for a very famous Prince song.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Kiss by Prince himself.
Classic song.
This guy, David Z, I mean, he's done a lot of stuff. It's not just Prince. He's also was a member of the group Lips Inc. and therefore was a part of creating this tune.
Another classic tune.
Yeah. Starting to see where all the stuff comes together for how we got these Powerline songs.
Yeah, for sure.
That's Funky Town by Lip Sync, for those who don't know. Now, before we play Powerline, again, folks, I promise we're getting to it.
It's coming up.
They're just so good. We got to save it. We got to keep you listening. I know you're just here for the Powerline.
Trust me, when we get into the Powerline, you're going to get sick of it with what I got in store for you.
But Shawn, there's one more song that David Z produced that's kind of the most wild card, the least like Powerline in my mind, but it's kind of the most Powerline sounding song I came across in this guy's recording history. You ready for it?
Yep. Oh, wow.
And I feel like there are definite elements of this in the Powerline tracks. The guitar.
Sure, I can hear that.
I think because it has like guitars and people holding guitars, I always thought of Fine Young Cannibals as like a quote unquote rock band. But like it's all the same. It's all the same as the stuff we've been talking about.
Yeah. That's a good tune.
She drives me crazy. Yeah. That was the most surprising one to me. In a good way.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because Funky Town drives me crazy in the other way a little bit.
No. That drives me crazy with joy.
But when I came across that, I was like, oh, this does sound kind of like Powerline pop. All right, Shawn.
Yeah.
Should we let him have a little bit of standout?
We should. Here you go, boys and girls. We got some Standout by Tevin Campbell, a.k.a. Powerline.
Some people settle for the typical thing, living all their lives waiting in the wings. It ain't a question of if, just a matter of time before I move to the front of the line. Once you're watching every move that I make, you gotta believe that I got what it takes to stand out above the crowd. Even if I gotta shout out loud, so mine is the only face that you see. Gonna stand out so you notice me.
This is like the Prince guitar that I was really like focusing on here.
Definitely. Which I think inspired that Fine Young Cannibals guitar, honestly.
Totally.
I mean, I think Prince inspired pretty much everybody around the 80s, early 90s.
Well, especially in terms of like adding some funky, cool guitars to things. Absolutely.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I have some alternate versions of this song.
Yeah.
Including a 2016 Tevin Campbell version. It's acoustic. and he did it with a band called Infield. Not Infield with an I, Infield with an E.
Infield?
Yes.
Enfield? That's where the I at the beginning?
Yes.
Gotcha. I was like, there are other I's and E's in field.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, I should have specified. It's at the beginning. Anyway, here's the fucking song.
Open up your eyes, take a look at me. Get the picture fixed in your memory. I'm driven by the rhythm like the beat of a heart. And I won't stop until I start to stand out.
Ooh. I like this.
It's really good.
It's like a Tracy Chapman version.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Like a unplugged.
That sounds pretty good acoustically.
Yeah, man. It was pretty cool.
Just to keep the train rolling, in 2002, Mitchell Musso did a cover of this song for...
Oh, I saw this.
The Disney Mania 7 album.
Which is just like a compilation of Disney tracks, yeah?
Yes, and this is a transformative cover, Dustin.
Oh, really? I didn't even bother to listen to it. I'm excited now.
Some people settle for the typical thing, living all their lives waiting in the wings. And a question is just a matter of time before I move to the front of the line. Once you're watching every move that I make, you gotta believe that I got what it takes. Stand out above the crowd, even if I gotta shout out loud.
Okay. I mean, when did you say this? Did you say this was 2002?
2010.
Oh, 10. Oh, okay. So Alien Ant Farm had done their Smooth Criminal thing and started all this already.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
The like power pop rock covers.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Honestly, anything different?
Sure, of course. And listeners, you may know Mitchell if you're of a certain age. He played Oliver on Hannah Montana. And yes, before you even ask, we're going to do Hannah Montana at some point in time. We sort of have to, but it's not on the docket anytime soon. But we will talk about Hannah Montana at some point. I promise.
Yay.
But in terms of something that I do know Mitchell Musso from, he's the main kid DJ in the fantastic animated movie Monster House. Did you ever see this movie, Dustin?
Oh, Monster House. Yeah. Our buddy Zach loved Monster House.
Well, I mean, as you should. Monster House is great.
That's cool. You have one more version of Standout? Two more.
And it also appeared in a 2019 episode of DuckTales, where two of the characters sing along with the song as a CD case for Powerline sits in front of them.
So stand up above the crowd, even if I gotta shout out loud. Tonight is the only face that you see. Gotta stand out. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, that DuckTales reboot has been on my list of stuff I want to watch for quite a while.
Yeah, isn't Danny Pudi's on that, right, from Community?
Yeah, that's the only thing I know about it, and I only know that because of that like legendary Larry King interview.
yeah.
Larry King asks him like what luxury he likes, and he's like
yeah, he says socks and coffee, and Larry's like, no, you need a private jet.
Private jet, Larry? I'm on DuckTales. One of the greatest retorts.
Oh, it's so funny.
Rest in peace, Larry King.
Yeah. So, Dustin, I'm going to send you a video link for the final one because I would like you to see this with your own eyes.
Oh, okay. I'm clicking it. What's it going to be?
And this is a feature from 2021.
Dancing the Jive with his partner.
Oh, Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
Oh, in the Powerline set with the bubble?
Yeah. And he's in the suit. He's got the hair going. It's crazy.
Oh, that's dope.
This is Cody Rigsby and Cheryl Burke dancing the jive to Stand Out.
That's so cool. Yeah, you gotta see this to appreciate it. But he is full on Powerlined out.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
I wonder. I mean, I don't know much about how Dancing with the Stars works. I assume they just have like a house band that does all the recordings.
I think
of the songs.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
because it sounds slightly different.
It sounds different. It's a serviceable performance, and it's an instance of where you don't want the cover to be like anything too radically different.
Right.
That's cool.
That was that's a first for the show. I've never encountered one of the songs from the property we're talking about end up on Dancing with the Stars.
On Dancing with the Stars. Yeah, no, I haven't seen that yet. Too bad it didn't make it to The Voice, so we could so we could make our Adam Levine mention for the episode. Oops, just did it.
Slip him in there.
Stand out. I mean, it's got staying power.
Oh, yes.
The one thing I've kind of run into, seen, and noticed over and over is that like people still love the hell out of these songs.
Yep.
You know, we talk about a lot of stuff comes up on our show where it's like, oh, well, it hasn't aged great, but we can appreciate it for this reason or the other. But like these songs are still bangers.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100% bangers. And part of that credit goes to Tevin. Obviously, big part. Part of that goes to the producer, David Z., who we talked about. There are more folks behind the Powerline songs. I just want to talk about two of them real quick. Patrick DeReamer and Roy Freeland are the songwriters, and I just wanted to give a quick example of other songs that each of those two guys has written.
Oh, yeah.
First up, we're going to do Patrick DeReamer. He wrote a song for an artist named Nick Kamen.
Okay.
This one kind of blew my mind because it's not a song I remembered right away, but I kind of wonder if you do, Shawn. And the song is called Turn It Up.
Attraction, feel it every time we kiss. Oh, you got me so excited. Still, it's not enough. I'm gonna try to fight it.
It really reminds me of Let's Hear It for the Boy.
It does sound a lot like Let's Hear It for the Boy. But no, this song is actually from, Shawn, the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids soundtrack.
Oh, okay.
There's a music video featuring clips from the movie.
Nice.
I don't remember that one. I didn't remember there being any like hit songs from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah. I don't either. And I watched that within like the last 3 years.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go. That song is in it, and it shares a songwriter with the Powerline tracks. So that was Patrick DeReamer. Roy Freeland is also known for writing a kind of famous soundtrack song. And this one, I think you will know. Because I've heard you talk about how much you love this soundtrack.
Not tripping any wires so far.
Not yet? I'm gonna wait till the chorus before I reveal it.
Sure. The chorus sounds vaguely familiar, but no, I don't know it, man.
That's Hot Summer Nights by Miami Sound Machine from the Top Gun soundtrack.
I have that vinyl. I don't know that song. I can't explain it any better than that. I have the vinyl, but I don't know the song.
I got really excited because like you've gone on a rant to me about like how much you love the Cheap Trick song and the Login songs and stuff from the Top Gun soundtrack.
Well, I
took a swing.
I do love those songs, but those are the like. I don't even talk about the Berlin song because the Berlin song gets overplayed in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's sure played like fucking 17 times throughout the whole thing.
Bow, 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 bow.
But the Cheap Trick song is, first off, it's the greatest song on that soundtrack. You can come for me if you want to. There's no better song on that soundtrack than Mighty Wings.
Cheap Trick is the best song on any soundtrack they're on.
Yeah. And honestly, Danger Zone's not even the best Kenny Loggins song on that.
No, that's true. It's funny, like, we've dipped into, like, a very specific world, this episode, of people who write hit pop songs for movies.
Again, we've said this so many times. It's apparently a small pool of people that are working on movie songs.
But I feel like between Top Gun and Footloose and this, like, it's a lot of like songs that became big hits in the real world that were originally written for the screen. I mean, I guess we still do that. We still have hit songs from movies.
That's not an uncommon thing.
No.
In terms of, say, a Men in Black song is way less common now than it used to be.
Yeah, definitely. I think we can agree there was a heyday of this stuff in the 80s and 90s.
Yes.
I just wanted to give a little mention to both those songwriters because more than ever, really, I can't believe how catchy and great just these songs still sound.
What do you say we move on to the catchier of the two? Not saying that Standout is bad by any means, but my ears prefer Eye to Eye if I had to pick.
Well, they save it for the end of the movie. They knew.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
This one's got the big, sweet hook.
One way or another, together's where we both belong. If we listen to each other's heart, find we're never too far apart. And maybe love is the reason why, for the first time ever, we're singing it eye to eye.
Got a little bit more of the Prince guitar coming in.
Dude, I was just going to say, this one really is, like, if you mashed up Prince and Bobby Brown, we're there.
Yes, 100%.
Like, it's there. Prince was too much of an artist to write anything this, like, saccharine sweet.
Yeah.
But they took the elements they needed, they wanted from him, and did the pop thing.
Yeah. Totally.
That one will get stuck in my head for days, dude.
Especially with how many times I'm about to play different versions for you, Dustin. Just like that D23 Expo I touched on earlier, Tevin Campbell comes out and closes that panel with a Powerline concert.
Oh, wow, really?
Up until this point in 2015, it's the only time he's performed these songs live for an audience.
Wow.
I think he's done so since, but up until 2015, this was the first time.
Ooh, he still got it.
They have all kinds of backup dancers on stage along with him in Powerline shirts.
Oh, fun.
Crowd loves it. I mean, how could you not?
No, how could you not? Yeah.
And I did say that I was going to get this lodged in your head with all of these different versions. So we're just going to power line right through. Here we come with another one. Tevin Campbell featuring Enfield with an E.
If we listen to each other's hearts, we find we're never too far apart. And maybe love is the reason why, for the first time ever, we're singing it eye to eye. Hey. If the squeaky wheels always get in the grease.
These acoustic versions are really cool.
It really lets his vocals shine.
It certainly does.
Like, he sounds so great. There's no I in Enfield, at least not where you'd think.
Shit, Paul's about to call. Dustin, how many more versions of this song you think I have in the chamber?
Oh, my God. Well, it's you, so I don't know, like 17?
Thank God it's just one. Here we go. This one's from 2019, and I've been waiting for this very thing to occur. I'm constantly looking for it. It's happened a few times with our boy Adam Levine, but it's because he has been involved with the projects. Okay?
I can't wait to hear where you're going with this.
I have never seen a song from a project we're covering end up on a singing competition show until right now, 2019, on American Idol. The contestant's name is Uche. Here is Eye to Eye. So yeah, thrilled that one of the songs we're covering finally ended up on a singing competition show that didn't have connection to the judges.
I hope he won with that one.
I honestly, I don't know. I didn't look into who won the 2019 season.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, American Idol's at a point where like he may have won the whole thing and I don't even know.
Yeah, exactly.
I can name the first 2 or 3 American Idol winners, probably.
I could name the first one and then a couple of other contestants.
First one Kelly Clarkson?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and then Clay Aiken or Ruben Studdard.
Ruben Studdard won. And then Justin Guarini was on the same season as Kelly Clarkson.
Okay.
I believe Carrie Underwood was a winner of American Idol.
Oh, yeah. She's an actual famous person who came out of that. Because they don't always get what was promised. And I'm not blaming anyone, but like not every winner, now that they've done 20 or so of them, has become a pop star.
And I think Chris Daughtry made the top 5. He did not win, but he had a pretty massive run of a career after the show was over.
Oh, he's the lead singer of Daughtry. I've heard of them. They're called a rock band. I thought they were a country band. I don't know anything about them either, but I've heard of them.
Oh, okay.
That's where I knew the word Daughtry, the name Daughtry, I guess.
Yeah, he didn't even win American Idol, and he had a hugely successful career.
Yeah, okay. It gets you so far, and then you gotta grab the horns and run with it, I guess.
And what's his name that sings with Queen now? He was an American Idol guy, too.
Oh, yeah.
Adam Lambert. Adam Lambert.
I was like, because the official name when they perform is Queen plus Adam Lambert, I believe.
I didn't Google that, listeners. I came up with it. My brain finally worked.
Came up with it. No editing tricks here. That sounded sarcastic.
Not this time.
No editing tricks. He really did.
Yeah, he's not as dumb as you think, kids. So yeah, thrilled to find that Uche cover from American Idol in 2019.
That was cool. You found a like performance game show cover for each of the songs. Like I said, whenever you played the Dancing with the Stars one, I was like, oh man, too bad it wasn't a singing competition show. And then there you had it in your pocket the whole time.
You bet I did. That really would have been a kick in the jeans if he would have been on The Voice after Adam Levine had departed from the show.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, that was fun. Thanks for goofing around with us, everybody.
Well, since we're finally winding the show down, Dustin, you know what's coming your way. Would you be a Powerline fan if Powerline was giving us some real tunage to listen to?
Yeah, damn right I would. I mean, I am a huge fan of these 2 songs. I don't know if that's what makes it special, that there are only these 2 songs ever by the artist Powerline, but I would take a chance on some more if it was ever presented.
Oh, man. Dude, if they did another sequel to this film, because there are a handful of them that we did not talk about in today's show.
That do not feature a pop star.
Correct. But if they ever wanted to do a sequel that involved them and Powerline again, I would be all for it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, cautiously optimistic. I do think, like so many things from our youth, it would probably get messed up in some way. I'm kind of glad it hasn't been done yet, but yeah, I'd give it a listen if they tried it.
As of pretty recently, Tevin Campbell sounds good still. So
it's not Tevin Campbell I would be worried about.
Of course not. I'm just saying the fact that he is still active somewhat and still sounds really good leaves me with some hope. You know?
Yeah, definitely. He sounds great. No, if they do it again and use him and do everything else right, it could be amazing, but remains to be seen.
Yeah, it could also shit the bed really hard.
Yeah, but I'm glad for what they gave us because, I mean, these songs rock.
Oh, yeah.
I guess the point I want to drive home is these are surprisingly good for the role they filled.
100% in agreement. I am a Powerline fan. We're both Powerline fans.
For life.
And I gotta assume anybody listening right now is also a pretty big Powerline fan, so hopefully you enjoyed our deep dive into 1995's A Goofy Movie. I sure had a great time. I want to send a big shout out to Goofy for actually coming into the studio and being so kind and answering our questions today.
Mr. Goof, we appreciate it so much.
And if you enjoyed this, please go ahead and give us a rating or review on whatever podcast platform you're currently listening to this show on. We would really appreciate it. It helps us out a ton.
And you know where to find us, but in case you don't, it's fictionradiopod.com. for all of our episodes, all of our socials, all that stuff. Anything you need to find about us is there. And fictionradiopod@gmail.com is our email address, and we love to hear from you.
We'll see you next week on 198.4 KFLX Fiction Radio.
Watching movies, jamming out. KFLX 198.4 Fiction Radio.